Thank you for all coming. Thank you all for coming to Promises to Kids and to our announcement today of an exciting partnership to benefit former foster youth. Promises to Kids is dedicated to our mission of creating a brighter future for foster children in San Diego. We provide the hope, support, and opportunities that these individuals need to move on and change their lives for the better. Through our essential programs, Promises to Kids is dedicated to improving the lives of these children. Today, you're going to hear from several people who have come together to launch a new effort to change the lives for youth as they're leaving foster care and embarking on into adulthood. First, you'll hear from Dulce Pilano, who's one of our former foster youth and a Guardian Scholar. Drew Mosier, CEO of Lucky Duck Foundation. Tamara Kohler, CEO of the Regional Taskforce on the Homelessness, and Sean Elo-Rivera, City Council President for San Diego. National data reports that being in foster care as a child has been found to be a predictor of homelessness. So just the fact that you were in foster care determines your future without additional support. And that's why we're all here today, is to provide that additional support and intervention and change that trajectory for children. Our foster youth deserve better. As Promises to Kids' commitment to help foster children overcome these difficulties of their past and grow into a successful and healthy independent adults, we're launching this groundbreaking Foster Futures program. Nationally, after exiting foster care, 1 in 3 youth become homeless within 2 years. These youths are diverse. 22% are Black, 32% Latino, 35% Caucasian, and many remain identifying as multiracial, and all are low income. These young adults are just one unexpected expense away from homelessness. The Foster Futures program will include a blend of direct cash support to program participants alongside critical programmatic support like case management, mental health services, making sure they have mentors, access to financial literacy, and some accountability around budgeting. All of those things together are going to ensure that these young people never fall into homelessness. Now I'd like you to hear from Dulce on the impact of some of the programs I've had in her life.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dulce Pelayo. I entered foster care at the age of 16, feeling lost and devastated, not knowing what stability was. At 19, I became a mother to my son. I had no family, guidance, and support. As a single mother, I struggled to make ends meet, constantly worried how I would afford rent, bills, and food took all my focus. We became homeless before my son turned 1, couch surfing and staying with anyone who would welcome us. I wanted a better life for us. My life took a turn for the better when I became a Promises to Kids Guardian Scholar. On top of the incredible support this program offers, I won a housing scholarship through Promises to Kids during a vulnerable time. This changed the course of my life. Not only did I receive additional funding for 1 year, but the added support has been transformative in many ways. With case management, mentoring, parenting classes, and more, I learned and gained so much more. I prioritized my mental and physical health, and I was able to stay in school. Had a safe and non-judgmental space where I could communicate my hardships as a parent, learn how to budget, and be the mother my son needed. I gained a support system and community that I never had before. This opportunity removed barriers and moved me towards economic stability. I was able to pay my bills on time while still pursuing my education. For the first time, I felt safe and secure. I was even able to save money. I had a roof over my head and no longer worried about becoming homeless again. My mental health improved and my mindset changed completely. The new and unique Foster Futures program will ensure that foster youth like me have both the financial and support and resources they need, allowing them to focus on what's important rather than their current economic struggles and what's holding them back. It grants stability and provides opportunities that may seem impossible. Today, I'm a first-generation college graduate, recently earned my bachelor's degree from National University. My dream is to have a successful career that allows me to give back and make a difference for underserved populations. If not for the wraparound support that I've received through Promises2Kids, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Drew Moser. I'm the CEO of the Lucky Duck Foundation. Our mission is to prevent and alleviate the suffering of homelessness throughout San Diego County. And our co-founders match all donations up to $1.5 million per year. We added prevention to our mission statement within the last year and a half or so for numerous reasons, but not the least of which was because if we can keep somebody from falling onto the streets in the first place, it saves unspeakable perils and traumas of trying to survive, but it's also meaningfully more cost effective. And this pilot program is meant to help youth turn the ledge into a launching pad, and that it's designed to really catapult them to success in finding their own wings, so to speak, and becoming self-sustainable, housed and employed, and nowhere near the streets. And this program will invest approximately $25,000 per youth over the next 2 years to help youth not only avoid homelessness, but to truly launch them into a more fulfilled and sustaining life journey for the rest of their lives. And when compared to the cost of unsheltered homelessness, round numbers, $40,000 per unsheltered person per year over the next 40 years, that's a savings of $1.6 million per youth. Or when you look at it in the aggregate, that's $80 million in savings over the next 40 years by helping 50 youth today. So how about that return on investment? That's, when our group tries to apply business principles to this massive social issue of homelessness, $1 million investment up front could save $80 million down the road by helping 50 youth avoid homelessness and instead achieve a healthy and fulfilling life. That's an investment, or in the business world, you might say that's a risk that our board's very willing to take. So we're pleased to support this program and pleased to help launch this and again, help a good number of youth launch off into their own fulfilling and successful lives. I want to applaud Promises2Kids for investing their own resources in this effort. Many organizations come to us at the starting line of an idea to ask for help. Well, they had already run 40% of this race when they came to us because they accessed their own reserves to bring this pilot to life because they believe so strongly in it. And how about Dulce? Let's help. Next time, let's get 50 more Dulces up here. And I also want to thank the Regional Taskforce on Homelessness and Tamara Kohler's leadership for participating in this effort to help us bring this program to reality. And then we thank both the city and the county of San Diego and Council President Sean Elo. But we also encourage the city and the county to do more in this particular effort and in other efforts like it to help end youth homelessness in our region. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I'm Tamara Kohler from the Regional Taskforce on Homelessness, and one of the key roles and responsibilities that we have is to set goals in the region. And one of the top goals that we have is to prevent and end homelessness for our transition age youth. And I think it's important that's those that many times are exiting systemic care like foster care. And if 1 in 3 that we actually can document are experiencing homelessness, I challenge that those numbers are probably higher. The support that is needed to exit our systems of care is waned in a way that people have to experience homelessness to get the supports that they need. And so as we address homelessness, we put out a report every month most of you are familiar with. For every 10 that are housed, 16 more experience homelessness for the first time. We need to reverse that trend, and we can only do that by leaning in 100% into prevention. And prevention for our TAPE population, for our youth, is achievable with pilot programs like this. The intent is to be able to have a place where people can ask for help before they're couch surfing, trying to put it together in a way, living in a car or on our streets. We are passionate about the purpose of prevention around homelessness, and it's why we put out the monthly numbers. We commit our work, our expertise, our funding to strategies we know have change and implement change. And when Council President reached out to me about this program, knowing that that is a priority that we have shared since he served on our board at the Continuum of Care, this aligns perfectly with the goals, with the expectations, and the partnership with strong foundation partners like Lucky Duck, who also are clear in their objectives and goals is how we get this work done. The importance of the cost savings is a piece we can hold up. More importantly is the life-saving adventure for someone like Dolce. Most of our folks who experience chronic homelessness had their first episode in those early TAY years, and were never able to connect consistently and have the stability to exit homelessness and never return. Our goal is to make sure that pilot programs like this, that we measure the outcomes, that we partner intentionally, and can prove the effectiveness of it, so we put it into action more intentionally at the beginning. That someone exiting foster care knows what's out there and how they can connect, knows that there is a commitment to their stability, and that means housing, that means education, that means food, that means community support. So we are honored to be a part of this. This is a place that is important that we're all really grasping with. Preventing homelessness has got to be a clarion call. It is a call to action that we have places people can ask for help early and often, and they are given the services that they're eligible for, especially our young adults, our senior population, our young family members. We need to reduce the bias and stigma around the fact that we live in a very expensive community, and housing is challenging for all of us. Our investment in our young adults who are emerging leaders, are the ones that are going to run programs and change the world, is why we invest in these type of programs. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Dolce, for your sharing your story, Drew and Tanya. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Sean Elo-Rivera. I am San Diego City Council President and proudly represent San Diego City Council District 9. It's often said that a true measure of a society is how well it treats its most vulnerable. By those standards, we're not doing well. We just heard the data around the vulnerability of foster youth, which it's hard to imagine a more vulnerable and worthwhile group of folks to invest in, how likely it is for them to end up homeless. 1 in 3. As much as we often try to make homelessness the problem of the individual who is experiencing it, it's important for us to reflect on the likelihood of homelessness for our foster youth and former foster youth, because they've done nothing wrong. They're young people who've not been provided the privileges and support that so many of us have, and society is failing them, quite frankly. So, that is why programs like this are so important. A few $100s can be the difference between keeping a roof over a foster youth or former foster youth's head and becoming unhoused. And with the Foster Futures program, we're taking active steps to ensure that some of our most vulnerable folks in our city, foster youth, do not fall into homelessness. The data that's been shared up here is incredibly important, and what I want to highlight is what this represents in terms of partnership. When Tanya sat down with me and some of the very inspiring young folks that she works with and shared with me what this program aims to do, and they shared with me their experiences, it was a no-brainer to advocate for supporting this program, both at the city, and to advocate for additional resources to be brought in from outside as well. I am very confident that those who participate will greatly benefit and will see the results from it because Once their fundamental need for housing and shelter is secured, they'll be more able to focus on the other areas of their lives that will enable them to succeed. For example, focusing on their studies. That is why, when the program was shared with me, I reached out to Tamara and encouraged her to use that incredible toolbox that she has at the Regional Taskforce on Homelessness to see if there was a way to support Promises2Kids in their efforts here. With that, I want to say thank you, Tamara, for the work that you do. This is the second time, and I believe 3 weeks, that Tamara's partnership with the city and the community is resulting in substantially more resources being brought to addressing San Diego's most pressing need. The Regional Task Force was instrumental in the city's short-term action plan on shelter that we're working on right now, and obviously playing a critical role here. I also want to say thank you to Drew and the Lucky Duck Foundation. Adding prevention into your scope of work is incredibly important. About a year ago, Drew and I stood with other community leaders to talk about the Senior Safe at Home program. And so what we're building here is an ecosystem with an infrastructure to support the most vulnerable people in San Diego, who are also the folks who are most likely to end up on the streets, and to prevent that from happening in the first place. You've heard the returns on investment. You've heard how this isn't just a compassionate and good thing to do, but it's a smart thing to do as well. And that's why I want to encourage all San Diegans to get involved here. There's no question that I'm asked more often than what are you doing about homelessness? And I will tell them, I will answer that question. I will say we are not doing enough. I will continue to advocate for more funding for prevention programs. But what I also need to remind folks is that this is all of our responsibility. San Diego and San Diegans are not powerless to solve homelessness. We can do it. We know that the data says that if we prevent homelessness, we can turn the tide and begin to see the improvement that I know every San Diegan wants to see. So I'm going to encourage your involvement. I'm going to encourage your support for Promises2Kids, your support for the Lucky Duck Foundation. I'm going to encourage my colleagues and the mayor to invest even more in this program and programs like it, because Drew, you're absolutely right. The city does need to do more on the prevention side. I won't rest until we do that, but I also want to encourage every San Diegan to do their part. Homelessness is solvable, but we're all going to have to do it together. And this is a great example of how when we invest in homelessness prevention, we are investing in people and making it more likely that the community as a whole does better and individuals have the opportunity to succeed that they deserve. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Very, very proud to be a part of this. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much to everybody for their support. Regional Task Force on the Homeless, Lucky Duck, and Council President. It's really been a way to come together and bring together the community to really support youth like Dulce and so many others. If the community wants to support, there's a number of ways that they can do that. We have details about this program, Fostering Futures, on our website, Promises2Kids.org. We are still trying to fund the gap of $200,000 to ensure that the first year of this program is fully launched. So I encourage you to go online and make a gift. You also could find ways to volunteer on our website, perhaps be that mentor, be that coach, some of those other opportunities that we know are going to be a critical component to supporting these youth. So thank you for coming and have a great day.